The journey of digital transformation of Indian governance is at full throttle now. Yes, now we are in the meat of the sessions. Session 11 is essentially talking about India's advent to create a unified digital platform structure provided to all of us through what is called as India Stack. In session 11, we would try to demystify what are the various building blocks of India Stack. Therefore, in session 11, we would understand what is India Stack, how has been the journey of evolution to India Stack point, what is the total ecosystem of India Stack, how is it going to change the shape of governance to come, how are various stacks implemented in verticals like agriculture, like health, etc. by Government of India, and we would also look into little bit about various layers of India Stack. India Stack is a set of open APIs that allow governments, business, startups and developers to utilize a unique digital infrastructure to solve India's problems so that we can have paperless, presenceless and cashless service delivery system. India Stack is a 4-layered structure. The base of India Stack is to provide presenceless layer. Presenceless layer, as I shared with you in my last session, I think session 10, we covered about Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card, mobile Aadhaar, which is provided to us through UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India, is providing unique digital biometric identity with open AI API access, can be used by anybody. The second layer is paperless layer. The paperless layer is provided to us through facilities like Aadhaar eKYC, through e-signature facility, through digital lockers, which is actually under the control and ambit of Ministry of Electronics and IT. The whole purpose of paperless layer, as the name indicates, is to ensure easy storage and retrieval of information digitally, so that we do not have to carry the bundle of papers with us when it comes to our certificates, etc., and authentication and validation. Next layer is cashless layer. Now, cashless layer, we had talked about UPI a little bit, and we have so many other options like IMPS, we have AEPS, APB, which we would explain in the class. A layer created by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, to ensure that there is an electronically interoperable payment network within the country. The last layer is the consent layer. Now, consent layer is an open personal data store by Reserve Bank of India to ensure that there is a modern privacy data sharing framework which would ensure that citizens give their consent for wherever their data is being used. I have some issues on consent layer. PDP, the Personal Data Protection Bill, is still lying with JPC and the act has not been formulated. Second, I think consent should be coupled up with ownership of the person who or the authority who would use that data. It should not just be on the citizen, the consent should not be the only criteria to safeguard my privacy, but it should also be with the agency which is using that layer. So, you would have seen that India Stack is changing drastically the face of delivery of services to the citizen. It is actually initiating what is called digital transformation of governance. However, its own journey has been equally interesting. I think it was way back in 2009 that we heard about Aadhaar, and it was in 2010 that Aadhaar, the authentication became a norm. In 2011, we started, Government of India started working on the cashless layer possibilities through AEPS and other possibilities. In 2012, Aadhaar eKYC became a norm. In 2013, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, they became important components of this stack. In 2014, the numbers crossed 100 millions with regard to Jan Dhan Aadhaar Yojana. and e-sign was becoming a reality. In 2015, e-sign and DigiLocker were fully implementable and were available to the citizens, and in 2016, consent architecture was created and was getting designed. By now, the mobile users in our country have crossed a billion mark, and we have also, with regard to Aadhaar, crossed the billion mark. With regard to Jan Dhan and accounts, we already have 250 million accounts who have their their own DBT possibilities enabled by Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. So the journey of India stack has taken almost 10 years, and each layer took time to ferment and grow and sediment. However, because of this, India stack, no more physical presence, no more photocopies, no more signatures of our possibility of signatures getting dabbled and wet and watermarked. Fake papers have been removed. We have open API based ecosystem driver and digitally protected systems in DigiLocker. Hence, we have reached a position where we can say that Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, coupled with so many other features like DigiLocker, e-sign, UPI, have changed the face of Indian governance and have given the possibility of designing so many other stacks in each vertical of governance, which will ensure minimization of transaction costs, which will help to onboard all stakeholders one by one or together, which would help us to ensure that no physical presence, especially in COVID days, we have realized is required for undertaking any activity, validation or for delivery of services, which would ensure that architecture is not hindering the delivery of services in governance, and innovation is getting incubated beautifully. Coming to agriculture stack in India, we have Fasal. Now Fasal is an IoT platform using artificial intelligence and data science to make on-farm predictions and predict actionable insights and recommendation to farmers to grow better and more. It is already active in 5 states of our country: Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. It helps in irrigation management, pest and disease management, fertilizer, real-time alerts to farmers and pesticide application, and is also keeping stock of our soil health. We have ePraman, which is authentication as a service layer, which is a standard based national e-authentication framework, which will ensure the security of users accessing various government services on mobile and fixed platform. We have Darpan, which is helping us to analyze and have a review of program and projects across the nations. It is a dashboard which is very interesting, and it focuses on various aspects including programs, schemes, monitoring of these programs, measuring of outcome and impact. Hence, Darpan is the front face, and we also talked about Darpan in our one of the previous sessions when we were talking about the need and role of dashboards. The gem discussed already is Flipkart or Amazon or any other e-marketplace for buyers and producers of services in government, and has helped to collate all these sectors together. Very interesting initiative is GST. GST, if you look at it, is a platform in itself which is goods and service tax, an initiative to create a national market for goods and services. What I am trying to share in this session is India is ready for platform economy. These initiatives delivered at national level will ensure social development and will cut across the federal structure of governance, will cut across the stakeholders, cut across the various services, and everything would be available on the palm top of the citizen. Time has come for India to leverage this humongous data being generated by these platforms, couple it up with machine learning and algorithms, which we had learnt in previous session, so that India could have a data driven decision making process which will ensure inclusion of all. Therefore, in pandemic times, in current circumstances, with this background, we need to have our action points on other fronts also, such as we should ensure that India achieves full and effective literacy. So, why not an platform, an education platform? We should ensure that our healthcare services should be delivered to everybody, especially public health, at lowest possible cost. India has already worked on its national digital health blueprint. For that, we need a health platform. We need to have a platform for justice, we need to have platform for social welfare, and once these verticals and these platforms are created, India would be truly ready to launch itself as a complete digitally transformed platform economy. That's all for now. India has done tremendously well on other fronts to ensure this platform economy is achieved, and we would listen this in session 12, which would take us to India enterprise architecture, which is trying to create a framework so that one nation, one platform dream can be achieved. But that's in the next session, session 12. Till then, thank you. Jai Hind.